Hello, this is Christine G, and I am going to be going over this problem today. Here we have a multiple regression equation. We have two x variables, x1 and x2, and we're asked to interpret the slope coefficient for x1. So we can see the number in front of x1, there's no number. So it's implied that there's a 1, and since there's a negative sign, it should be -1 is the slope of x sub 1. So the slope coefficient of x sub 1 is -1, and this indicates that y hat will decrease 1 unit for every 1 unit increase in x1. That makes sense because if we put x1, a number in for x1, let's say we put in 2, well then it decreases 2 units. If we put in 1, y will decrease 1 unit because we'll be subtracting that from the 5 and whatever the value is for this. So anyway, so let's try that answer, A, and let's check that. Okay, that looks on track. And then interpret the slope coefficient for x2, and that is the number in front of x2 is that slope coefficient, and that is 5. So the slope coefficient for x2 is 5. That looks correct. This indicates that y hat will increase 5 units for every 1 unit increase in x2, as long as x1 remains constant. And that sounds correct because if we put in 1 for x2, this entire equation will go up by 5 if x1 remains constant. So let's go ahead and check that. Okay, terrific. And then determine the regression equation with x1 equals 10. Choose the correct answer below. Okay, so I'm going to do a screenshot so I can write on this. And here what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in 10 for the equation. There we go. Okay, so let me see if I can get this to work. And we're going to substitute in 10 for x1. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my equation. So y hat equals 5 minus x1 plus 5x2. And then we're going to substitute in 10 for x1. So then we just have y hat equals 5 minus, and we put the 10 in for the x sub 1, plus 5x2. And then we combine our like terms, 5 minus 10, well that is just 5, or sorry, -5. Let me try and pull this down. It's not working for me. Okay. So this is y hat equals 5 minus 10 is -5 plus 5x sub 2. And let's look for that. -5 plus 5x sub 2. Let's try that one, see if it works. Good. And then it's asking us to graph the equation when x sub 1 equals 10. So we're going to graph this equation. So let me go ahead and do a screenshot. And we can see right away that the slope for this is positive. So that means we read lines like we read books from left to right. So this is going uphill, this is positive, so this is a contender. And then this is going downhill if we read it from left to right. So no, we can eliminate this. And then this is another contender. So now we know that we can plot points with the equation, or we can look at the y-intercept. So why don't we go ahead and see. In plotting points, we just say we can substitute in any numbers we want to for x sub 2. So if I put 0 in for x sub 2, this is 5 times 0 plus negative 5, and this is 0, and then 0 and negative 5, which would just give me negative 5. So this one would be negative 5. I can try and look at that. That's 1 point. And so I know that my x-intercept, so the point 0, negative 5, would be here. I don't see this line crossing. It would be around here, depending on what. It would be below. Since it's negative 5, the equation, or the line for the equation would be below. It would be in the negative area where it crosses 0, negative 5. So this looks right to me, and this does not look right to me because it's too high, and this is in positive area and this is negative. So right away I can figure out that it would be C, and let me check that. So that looks good. Hope this helps, and let me know if you have any further questions, and thanks so much for watching.